Assalamualaikum student. So today our topic is basics of computer. Okay, so let's start. What is computer? Okay, computer. It is very important to know the basics of computer before you go in this field. So first of all, it is programmable electronic device. Okay, it is programmable. Students, remember programmable electronic device. It is give output. Okay, output when a raw data input is inserted. Okay, for example, you give exam. Okay, it's your input. Checking is process and okay, so whole the process is checking and the result which you have achieved is your output. Okay, it is combination of hardware and software. Okay, there are two types of computer, parts. Okay, hardware, software. Okay, both combine to form computer. Okay, now the basics of computer. It is derived from Latin. Okay, computer is the Latin word. Okay, known as in English. When we translate the Latin word computer, it means calculator. What? Calculator. Okay, computer is basically a Latin word, meaning when we translate it in English, it will convert the meaning of calculator. Now, C stands for common, O for operating, M for machine, P for particularly, U for use for, T for trade and techniques, E for education, and R for research. Okay, common operating machine, particularly used for trade, techniques, education, research. Okay, basically computer is all about this. Okay, now as we know, computer is the combination of hardware and software. So these are parts of computer. Okay, these are mainly a part of computer. So let's talk about software first. Okay, program that tells the computer what to do. Okay, there are two types of software, and software is the program what tells computer what to do basically. Okay, it is a main important part of computer are further okay divided into two parts: application software, system software. Let's talk about these parts of software. System software helps the computer to run. Basically it tells the computer how to run or helps to computer to run. For example, m windows, moc, linux, etc. Okay, there are thousands of system software. The application software, programs you use to do task. Okay, those programs used to do task on computer. For example, chrome, word, games, etc. Okay, now let's move towards second part of computer, hardware. Okay, those parts of computer which we can touch or see. Okay, cpu, monitor, keyboard, etc. cpu. Okay, the monitor, keyboard, etc. These are some of basic and important hardware. cpu, the brain of computer. Student, remember the brain of computer. cpu is the brain of computer. Okay, central processing unit. Okay, central processing unit. Remember, as we humans have cns which have brain, so exactly like that computer have cpu, the brain of computer. Okay, now let's move at second, ram, random. Okay, ram full form is random. Okay, random access memory. What? Students, random access memory. It stores short term memory. What? Short term memory used while working on taskers. Okay, working on task. Okay, number 3, storage. Storage is hard drive. Okay, stores long term memory. What? Long term memory. Okay, For example, to store files, folders, or programs. Okay. Now, input and output device. As I told you before, for example, store files and now, as I told you before, that input a raw data. Here I told you that, for example, you give exam, it's your input. The processing is checking of your result, and the result is your output. Okay. But let's talk, for example, keyboard. You use keyboard to give input now, give instruction to computer to process and give you calculations. So keyboard is input used to give command. Okay, used to give command. Okay, input is basically used to give command. Now output device. Okay, monitor, printer, speakers used to show result, as I told you before. Inputs are those used to give command, outputs are those used to show result. Okay, as here down example is written, which I already gave you, that you give enzymes, it's your input, checking is process, and result is your output. Okay, it's very easy to understand. I hope you are understanding. Let's move on towards the second topic, basic terms. Okay, it is believed that analytical engine. Students remember analytical engine was the first computer was invented by Charles Babbage. Okay, it's very important. Be concentrate. Charles Babbage in 1837. Yes, students, 1837. Remember, 1837. I repeat, analytical engine was the first. But before that, difference engine was invented. Okay, in 1822. On the basis of difference engine, analytical engine was invented by same Charles Babbage. Okay, in 1837. Input, as I told you before, first you input, then process, then output is results. Okay, now as I told you before, computer is combination of hardware, software, which are handled by operating system. It is Latin word. When we translate it into English, it means calculate. Okay, as I told you before, what are hardware and software, and operating system handles both hardware and software, it's working in etc. Okay, now, as I told you before, computer is Latin word, means calculator in English. When we translate it into English, it means calculator. Okay. Now we have three type of languages. What? Three type of languages. Assembly, binary language, which is also known as machinery language. Students, remember binary language. There are three languages. Assembly language, which is mainly understood by humans. Okay. Assembly language, which is includes 0 till 9. Okay, 0 till 9. Binary language, machinery language, only includes two units, 0 and 1. Okay, it is the language understood by computer. Okay, and it is a language by assembly language, which is only understood by humans. Machinery language is understood by computer. Okay, remember, only includes two. Binary language only includes two units. What is 0 and 1? Okay, students, remember, 0 and 1. And assembly language includes 0 till 9 digits. Okay, binary language includes two digits, 0 and 1. Now let's talk about high level language. C++, Java, Python, etc. These all are high level language. Okay, while binary language is numeric, machinery language includes two digits, and high level language includes C++, Java, Python, which is also understood by computer. Okay, understand, it is understand by computer. Okay, students, now translators. What are translators? You give computer have translators in it. Okay, computers have translator in it, which convert our language into its own language and give result into language which humans can understand. Okay, which can be understood by humans. Okay, if you want a proper video on translators, comment below. I will provide it. Okay, it's a long and important but not nevertheless topic. So computer have translators which convert our language into its own, and then the result will also be translated into humans language which we can seen on monitors or screen. Okay, it converts decimal, hecadecimal, other languages, translates into binary language, and etc. Okay, students, I hope you understand. Comment down below. Is it easy to understand? Okay. For example, you input 2 plus 3, it translates it into its own language and shows result on our own language 5. Okay. What 5? 2 plus 3 is equals to 5 now. Yes. Now let's talk about history and generations of computer. Okay. Now first of all we have abacus. Okay. Napier-Bone, Pascaline. Let's talk about abacus first. Birth of computer. What? Birth of computer. Birth. Okay. Birth of computer begins with the birth of abacus. It is a wooden machine, basically wooden manually invented machine, was invented by Chinese around 4000 years ago. Okay, abacus is invented by Chinese around 4000 years ago. Birth of computer begins with the birth of abacus. Now Napier. It was manually operated calculating device. Okay, as abacus only do plus and minus job, Napier do plus minus subtraction multiplication job, was invented by John Napier around 1550 to 1670. First machine used the decimal points. Napier bones are the first machine used the decimal points. Okay, student, remember it was the first machine used the decimal point. Okay, it is manually operating calculating device, was invented by John Napier 1550 to 1617. Abacus only do plus minus, but it can do plus minus subtraction multiplication and also division. Okay, now Pascaline. Pascaline is also named as arithmetic machine. What? Arithmetic machine. It is first automatic and mechanical machine. Remember, it was the first automatic and mechanical machine Pascaline invented between 1942 to 1944 by a French mathematician philosopher by Blaise Pascal. Okay, his father was tax counter. So for helping his father, he invented automatic machine named Pascaline. Okay, it also does job of only subtraction and addition. Okay, only addition and subtraction. Okay, it was first automatic machine. Now let's move towards generation of computers. We have 5 generations of computer. Okay, let's talk about first generation. Was 1940 to 1956 was vacuum tubes. Second is 1956 to 1963 transistors. Okay, transistor. Third generation was from 1963 to 1972 integrated circuit IC. Okay, fourth generation one from 1972 to 2010 microprocessors. Fifth generation is 2010 to present, still continuous. AI, artificial intelligence. Okay, which is not natural. Sorry. Okay, AI, which is most demanding nowadays. Google, Siri, Alexa. They all are example of artificial intelligence, which is fifth generation of computer, still to present, not natural. It is known as artificial intelligence because it's not natural. It is man-made. Okay, it is made through a man mind. Okay, it's not natural. Alexa, Siri, and Google Assistant are the example of AI. Okay, now let's move towards characteristics and limitations. We have various characteristics of computer and various limitations of computer. Let's talk about characteristics first. Okay, these are not a very important topic, but uh, uh, you should know about them. Okay, if someone asks, you should answer it properly. Okay, you should have concept in your mind. Okay, so number one is speed. Our human mind is have less speed than computer can work and answer and give calculations easily. It's reliable, it stores capacity, it okay it has long term storage capacity. Computers are flexible, computer have accuracy. Okay, computers are accurate. Okay, accuratable, it have accuracy. Okay, now let's talk about limitations of computer. No IQ. Computer does not have IQ, thinking power. Okay, remember, no IQ. Virus. If virus had gone through your computer, all your data may be lost. Okay, computer, there is a limitation of computer, which is virus. Power consumption. Computer needs electricity, needs power, so it's power consuming. And no feeling. Computer does not have any kind of feeling. It can't feels. Okay. Now let's move. It, it computer does not have feelings. Okay. Characteristics. These are various important characteristics and limitations. Now types of computer. They are based on size, based on purpose, based on work. Used by us in daily life. A computer, laptop, PC, personal computer, tablets, supercomputer, mini computer, okay, microcomputer. These are used by scientists basically, and they are based on size. Now, based on what we have three type of computer: analog, first computer, based on work is analog, digital, and hybrid. Okay, now let's talk about analog first. Designed to process analog data. What? Designed to process analog data. Okay, it is continuous data, cannot have discrete values. Okay, it can calculate those values which does not have constant values. Okay, those those data have which do not have constant amount can be calculated through analog computers. Okay, for example, your bp machine, blood pressure machine calculate is analog. Okay, now digital, designed to perform calculations and logical operations. Okay, at a high speed, it accepts raw data and gives output. For example, smartphones, laptop, etc. are digital computers. Okay, those computers which calculates the constant amount of data, analog and digital, both combinedly make hybrid. Okay, hybrid is combination of analog computer and digital computer. For example, mobile can tell you your pulse rate. Okay, your pulse rate. And I hope students all the concepts are clear. Love it.